I'm Howard Webb, the Executive Director of the American Council on Criminal Justice Training. In this video, I'm offering some free advice for discussing Terry v. Ohio with your trainee. I hope you find it of value. It's important that your trainees know the background of Terry v. Ohio, because it kind of explains how they got the court ruling. Detective McFadden had been a police officer for 39 years and basically a street crimes detective for 35 years. So when he testified that the reason why he searched, Terry, because he believed that they were about to commit a crime and they were armed based on his experience level, he had what? A lot. It was a lot. And you get these younger officers that say they're like see and say toys. They like to take little catchphrases and then repeat them, because they don't really understand them. And so they'll go, well, based on my training and experience, and then of course when they get on the stand and say that, and they go, well, how long have you been a police officer? Well, 18 months. Oh, so tell me about your vast experience here, right? And so yeah, so they need to understand that when Terry said, based on my experience, I believe this, he had a lot. It wasn't like 18 months, it wasn't even 18 years, it was 39 years. And so he watches these two guys go back and forth in front of a window and stare into it 24 times. Well, again, you don't have to be a genius police officer to see someone look inside a window 24 times and go, hey, someone's probably up with that. There's something going on here. So he follows them down the street where they meet up with another guy. He then shoves them all into a store, and he pats them down, and he finds guns on two of them. One of them, it was so tucked in there that you had to take the coat off to get to the weapon. And then he arrested him, of course, for carrying concealed weapons without permit. Now, the real issue here is that the court liked about what he did was he only patted down the outside of the clothing. So if you're going to pat someone down for officer safety, you can only legally pat down the outside of their clothing. You can't go underneath the clothing until you believe there's something to remove. So when you pat someone down for officer safety, pat down the outside of the clothing, and if you feel a bulge or something solid, then you can go in there and, if you reasonably believe it's a weapon, and take it away. But you just can't be searching them thoroughly all over the place for officer safety without consent. And a lot of times younger officers don't understand that. Younger not in year, not necessarily age, but younger in experience. And so it went clear to the U.S. Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court said that, you can read it here, that basically, if you don't have the option to search someone for officer safety, then the response you might get is a bullet. So therefore, based on your training and experience, if you reasonably believe the person's committed a crime or about to commit a crime and is armed, then you can search them for officer safety, even against their will. And so keep in mind that if your trainees, if my recommendation is if you have less than 5 years on, you shouldn't use experience level as a justification, because you don't really have any. So once you get past that 5-year mark, you're kind of a good functioning police officer. So with your lesser experienced officers, when they talk about this is why I searched them, they want to use their training as a justification and not their experience level. So based on my training, I believe this, this, and this, and that's why I searched them. Because that's easier to validate than it is years of experience. Now, officers all the time put people in handcuffs as well for officer safety, which is fine. Some states, however, have state laws that say when someone goes in handcuffs, they're basically arrested. And so my recommendation is if you're going to handcuff someone for officer safety, then search them quickly first, pat them down for weapons first, and then put the cuffs on. Because that demonstrates your concern for your safety, because you're concerned they may be armed, they've committed a crime, and so therefore you quickly pat them down for weapons and then put the handcuffs on them. So it just reinforces your belief that there's an officer safety issue. Now the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals, when they looked at their total rulings on the taser, they came out and said that you can no longer get by with, I feared for my safety. You just can't be using those blanket statements. And officers throw officer safety around as a reason for anything a lot, without much thought in it. And what they'll say, why'd you do it? Officer safety. Well, what was officer safety about it? And it's like some people who don't speak a foreign language and they confront someone who's speaking a foreign language, instead of just going, okay, this is pointless, they talk louder in English. You know, it's like, hey, what's your name? Huh? What is your name? You know, that's what they do. They do the same with officer safety. Officer safety. Yeah, what was officer safety about? Officer safety. That's what they get, you know. It was, I was concerned for my safety. Well, what's that mean? Well, it means I was concerned for my safety. Well, the Ninth Circuit said, if you're going to say, I was concerned for my safety, there have to be objectively reasonable facts that would lead you to believe that you're actually concerned for your safety. So you just can't say the words, there has to be a reason. I hope you found my unsolicited advice of benefit to you. Be safe, embrace warrior values, and watch your six.